Well, it started from the internet reCAPTCHA. If you know it, it's kind of a system that you need to like tick "I'm not a robot" in some pages, and you need to write those kind of letters that you can't really read. Yeah, so actually that was the idea for the name and also for our logo, which is very fluid and it's always different.
Like our brand.
Yeah, and it distorted. And the idea was that we want to make clothing with our hands, with a lot of handiwork and craft put in it. So basically, it's not like a industrial production, but it's very, very personal, and we like put a lot of our personal kind of input in each of the pieces. Yeah.
So where did the inspiration come from to focus on, more handmade things rather than industrial fashion?
It's like basically our main focus that we are trying to make every piece different. So it's different all the time. Like sometimes it's like we are using our human like everyday situation like broken heart, or sometimes it's like technique what inspire us, sometimes it's like material. So but we are trying using also the scraps or leftovers, and we are very inspired by nature because it's like every time different like human being, and it stay like very long, stay forever.
So this is your collection behind us right now. Maybe could you pick out one of the items and just talk about, like how you created it and sort of like what the inspiration was again?
So maybe we can start with this leather jacket. It's like made of scraps, and we had like a small pieces of fabric, and it was very damaged. But we're trying to push the damages and make from it this pattern with dots to make it like more underlined. So that's it. And do you want to add something more, Barb?
Well, yeah, we wanted to make that, kind of a negative thing about the state of the leather, the actual, like, the purpose, So we use this burnout print dots that kind of hide it and, like, complemented the actual, the surface of fabric. And we also, like, experimented with dyeing this fake fur. It was a lot of fun. We've learned a lot about dyeing in that session.
It used to be a ballet shoe, so we use this piece to make it as a part of pattern. So, or we used leftovers like dyed flowers, and we dyed the silk. So this is it. And, or we are using like techniques which are very very difficult like for time. So it's like hand embroidered and or bleach. So you can't make the always you can make the exact pattern again. So and that's.
I mean, you can tell that there's been so much work that's gone into these designs. Picking up on the fake fur that you mentioned, how sustainable would you say is the collection? And is it important nowadays for the fashion industry to go towards more like sustainable and eco-friendly materials and designs?
But it could be used like in different ways. Like we are trying to make every garment like as special as it's possible, or as well decorated and well made it. So we are hope that it's gonna stay with you like as long as it's possible. And I think it's also the way of sustainability. Or and we are also using the materials which are very ageless. So I think that's it.
And I think I read in like maybe the press release or something, you talked a bit about fast fashion. And like, how do you think collections like this can combat fast fashion and what that's doing to the environment?
We believe that we create clothing that people can create relationships with. So we put a lot of our like personal input in it, and I think you can feel it in that. Also, we want to show the process behind making the collection in our Instagram. And I think when people see like what kind of a work, what amount of work is put into it, they maybe will think about twice about like exchanging their clothing for something else, or being like more conscious about their clothing, like mending it and just like cherishing it for a long time. So I think that's our approach, yeah, to the whole sustainable kind of a issue. I think it's very important to think.
As your recent students, do you have any advice for people on a budget who want to be fashionable but then they want to be sustainable as well?
I think it's important to like know your style, know what you like, and kind of buy things that you can own for a long time and won't get like fed up with them in a short time, and as well to be able to invest maybe in some very good quality pieces and to buy actually less, because it's enough when you have like some few pieces that are good material and good cut, and they are just like combinable with whatever you own in your wardrobe. So I think that's the advice from me.
I think yes, that's true. Like, it's also like my idea of buying things, like to have just like capsule clothes, like in your wardrobe, not like something what you will not need in 1 year. So that's it. Buy less and think more.